Good afternoon. My name is Jamie Rossman, and I am the director of the Parkinson's program here at GlideTrak. I want to thank you for joining our video webcast today. In this webcast, I will be talking about the best practices for Parkinson's exercise, what we at GlideTrak call PD FIT, and I will introduce you to GlideTrak's Big Walk training program, the most comprehensive home-based exercise program for Parkinson's available today. The agenda for today's webcast is as follows. I will start with a short introduction to the GlideTrak and the Big Walk training program. Next, I will go into detail about the best practices for Parkinson's exercise, what we at GlideTrak call PD FIT. I will then take some time and go into the details of the Big Walk training program itself. Following that, I will give a short explanation of the body weight support exercise method which GlideTrak uses and is what enables us to do the Big Walk training program. Finally, I will finish with some video case studies for you to see the results that our clients are having with the Big Walk training program. So before we talk about the best practices for Parkinson's exercise, let me take a moment and introduce you to GlideTrak and the Big Walk training program for Parkinson's. GlideTrak is our body weight support training system that removes fall risk, eliminates impact, and supports the body between steps. Big Walk is our specially designed Parkinson's training program for building corrected gait, faster walking with longer strides, proper posture and arm swing, balance, and aerobic fitness. An easy way to think about it is the technology of GlideTrak's body weight support is what makes Big Walk training possible. So let me tell you a little bit more about Big Walk training for Parkinson's on GlideTrak. Big Walk training is changing the way people with Parkinson's exercise. Big Walk training provides all of the critical Parkinson's exercise trait in a single exercise program. Big Walk is the only Parkinson's program that combines mobility training with an intense aerobic workout. Big Walk training is safe, effective, easy to use, and is changing people's lives. Here is a short video showing a client doing Big Walk training, practicing larger steps at a moderate speed. He's reaching out and back with his legs to increase his gait size and is training in a safe environment where this practice is possible. There are many benefits of GlideTrak Big Walk training for those with Parkinson's. Regular Big Walk training provides people with a faster walk with a corrected gait, improved posture and arm swing, better balance and reduced fall risk when walking outdoors, reduced stiffness, improved fitness and endurance, reduced and/or slowed progressions of Parkinson's symptoms, and an improved mood and sense of overall well-being. So now let's transition and talk about best practices for Parkinson's exercise. So the best way to think about exercise for Parkinson's is to think about the idea that exercise is medicine. You probably have heard this quote before, but Dr. Robert H. Butler, the National Institute of Aging, said, if exercise could be purchased in a pill, it would be the single most widely prescribed and beneficial medicine in the nation. And nowhere is this more true than for Parkinson's disease. So how does exercise work for Parkinson's? Well, Parkinson's, as you know, is a neurodegenerative disease. There are three main pathways to address neurological conditions. One is to change the brain chemistry. Next is to change the efficiency of the brain in its use of the neurochemicals. And the last is to change the brain programming, or using the concept of neuroplasticity, or brain reprogramming. Exercise for Parkinson's has a strong positive effect on all of these pathways. So if exercise is so important for Parkinson's, then the next question becomes, what is the best exercise to do for Parkinson's? This has both a simple and a complex answer. The simple answer is that the best exercise for Parkinson's is the exercise that you will do. It's more complicated, however, because not all types of exercise are as equally effective in improving or delaying the progression of Parkinson's symptoms. Choosing the right combination of exercises is as important as choosing the right combination of medicine in order to get the maximum benefit. So if not all exercise provides the same benefit for Parkinson's, the question becomes, what kind of exercise or what exercise characteristics provide the greatest benefit? In general, exercises that are challenging and complex provide the greatest benefit for Parkinson's. Repetitive, cyclical exercises like lap swimming, stationary cycling without another activity, or weightlifting are generally considered to be less effective. Turns out that there are 5 key traits of exercise that are particularly important to maximizing the benefit of exercise for Parkinson's. GlideTrak calls these traits PD FIT. And so we will introduce you now to the PD FIT concept for optimizing your exercise routine for Parkinson's. The 5 key PD FIT traits for Parkinson's are persistence, dual and multitasking, forced exercise or big exercise, intense and aerobic exercise, and task-specific exercise. We will go into detail for each of these. So let's look at each of the PD FIT exercise traits in more detail. The first is persistence. Exercise is like your medication. It only works when it is taken regularly and consistently over time. Recommendations for Parkinson's range from 2.5 to 3.5 hours a week of intense exercise. The frequency and length of exercise causes neuroplastic changes in the brain. A mix of home-based exercise and group activity is generally the best way to be consistent with your exercise program. The D in PD FIT stands for dual tasking. A common symptom of Parkinson's is trouble performing multiple tasks simultaneously, particularly when one of the tasks is walking. The tasks can be both physical or mental, or any combination. Complex exercise that involves multiple tasks improves not only multitasking capability, but gait mechanics and other Parkinson's symptoms as well. Boxing, dancing, and Tai Chi are excellent examples of dual task exercise. The F in PD FIT stands for forced or big exercise. Forced exercise involving frequent repetition of exaggerated movements has shown great results in slowing the progression of Parkinson's. Forced exercise uses cues or an external force to push your movements bigger and faster than they would be normally, but in a safe manner. LSVT big, tandem cycling, and body support treadmills are popular examples of forced exercise. The I in PD FIT stands for intense and aerobic exercise. Intense aerobic exercise provides the greatest neurochemical benefit for Parkinson's by increasing the efficiency of dopamine in the brain. A recent phase 2 clinical trial reported in the Journal of the American Medical Association in February of 2018 addressed this issue of intense exercise and Parkinson's. One of the article's authors, Dr. Daniel Corco, says, if you have Parkinson's disease and you want to delay the progression of your symptoms, you should exercise 3 times a week with your heart rate between 80 to 85% maximum. It's that simple. In addition, there is a strong consensus among physicians and therapists that intense exercise improves mobility, thinking, memory, and reduces risks of falls. Intense aerobic exercise should be the core component of your exercise routine. But how do you get intense exercise if you had limited mobility and balance? We'll talk about that later. Finally, the T in PD FIT stands for task-specific training. Simply put, the best way to improve on a task is to practice that task. Activities like cycling provide modest improvements to gait, but the gains are far inferior from the gains achieved by doing gait-specific training. Task specificity, along with the frequency of duration of practice, determines the rate of improvement of any task. This is where task-specific training and persistence work hand in hand. Gait, balance, and posture are good examples of tasks that benefit from task-specific training. So let's summarize what we have learned about best practices for Parkinson's exercise and PD FIT. We've learned that not all exercise or combination of exercises are equally effective for Parkinson's. The 5 exercise traits of PD FIT are key to optimizing the benefits of your Parkinson's exercise program. Develop an exercise program that you enjoy, that fits with your lifestyle and incorporates all of the PD FIT traits. A mix of exercises based both at home and in a group setting is considered ideal. Now that we have an understanding of the best practices of exercise for Parkinson's, I'd like to introduce you to GlideTrak's Big Walk training. As I mentioned in the beginning of this webinar, GlideTrak Big Walk training is changing the way people with Parkinson's exercise. The main reason for that is that GlideTrak Big Walk training has all of the traits of PD FIT in one system. Here's what Parkinsons.org's website says about body weight support training and products like GlideTrak. Body weight supported treadmills like GlideTrak combine all of the features of exercise that we think are important for driving changes in the brain. The exercise is complex and intense. It moves fast and with high repetition. Exercising on a treadmill is also task specific. It addresses walking, a functional task that we need in our daily lives. Let's look at how GlideTrak and Big Walk training provide all 5 key exercise traits of PD FIT. For persistence, GlideTrak is a convenient home-based exercise option. The ability to maintain a routine exercise program over time is greatly helped by having a robust home-based exercise capability like GlideTrak. GlideTrak is excellent for dual tasking. Gait, balance, posture, and arm swing can all be practiced simultaneously. GlideTrak is also an excellent way of forced exercise. Fall-safe body weight support provided by the GlideTrak and the cueing of the treadmill deck allow for the practice of big steps with corrected gait. No other exercise option can do this. GlideTrak exercise and Big Walk training are intense. Again, the fall-safe body weight support allows people to exercise between 2 and 4 times their typical walking speed. This enables best practices of intense exercise like high-intensity interval training. Lastly, the GlideTrak is task-specific. GlideTrak and GlideTrak Big Walk training are the best gait training techniques available for Parkinson's. In this table, we compare GlideTrak and several other exercise options against various types of characteristics of exercise that we know are important for Parkinson's. A standard treadmill is not a bad choice, except a treadmill can be dangerous when people have balance or mobility issues. There's no forced exercise, fall protection, or dual task capability when on an unprotected treadmill. Motorized cycles are good, but there's no gait training characteristics, no work on posture and arm swing, or balance. The same is true of a standard exercycle, but in this case, there's no forced exercise. Walking, again, is a good task-specific exercise, but because of the lack of balance support and postural support, walking is limited in terms of the benefit it can provide for Parkinson's. Boxing is an excellent choice, but GlideTrak Big Walk training figures well with all of the different characteristics for Parkinson's exercise. Up to now, we've been talking about Big Walk as an overall training concept. Let's take a couple of minutes and look at some more details about the specifics of what Big Walk training does. Big Walk training is a step-by-step approach to facilitate improved mobility and intense aerobic workouts for people with Parkinson's. Big Walk training approach is flexible, allowing the steps to be mixed and matched to meet each person's individual needs. Big Walk training provides the practice, muscle memory, and mental imagery necessary to sustain gains after workouts. Big Walk training is suitable for all but the most severe Parkinson's cases. Here is a breakdown of the steps for Big Walk training. As I mentioned, the process is flexible and can be adapted to everyone's specific needs. These steps would represent the complete process flow for someone starting with a highly compromised gait due to their Parkinson's. The first step is to work on leg extension with toe lift and heel strike. This is to reduce the shuffling that is very common with people who have Parkinson's. Next is we begin to create a big step. by working on adding a backwards leg extension to the forward leg extension. This starts the process of building a corrected gait. Next, we moderately increase the walking speed and training time while maintaining the big steps. This is to begin the process of embedding proper gait into the brain. Next, we start to add proper posture and arm swing to build a complete proper walking mechanical motion. Next, we extend practice time and speed again to combine all 4 steps to embed the complete walking mechanics into the brain. If necessary, we add balance and dual task challenges for each client. Finally, the speed is increased and we begin high-intensity interval training or other high-level aerobic activity with the aim of now building aerobic fitness in addition to all of the proper gait mechanics we've worked on earlier. When doing any kind of complex training, especially for Parkinson's, having training cues is very helpful to keep the entire process in mind. At GlideTrak, we have developed the habit for big walk training. We tell clients to think about getting in the habit. That means head up, arm swing and posture, take big steps, be intense and aerobic, and train with a purpose. Realize that this training you're doing is very important for your quality of life and ability to help fight back against Parkinson's. Now that you have an understanding of big walk training for Parkinson's, let me take a moment and introduce you to the concept of body weight support exercise. It is this technology which makes big walk training possible. Body weight support training, or BWST, is the leading physical therapy, therapeutic exercise, and gait training technique available. Body weight support training systems support an individual in order to reduce body weight and eliminate fall risk. This frees the user to train with confidence and without pain. Body weight support training is used by everyone from elite athletes to people with stroke and traumatic brain injuries. Body weight support training was first used for stroke and gait training in the early 90s and then later for orthopedics in the mid-2000s. GlideTrak is the first and only body weight support training system that is suitable for home use. Body weight support training has been researched for a wide range of conditions, including Parkinson's. Here is just a small example of some of the research studies which have shown tremendous improvement in gait and clinical outcomes for people with Parkinson's based on body weight support training. There are a number of body weight support training systems on the market today. 2 of the most well-known are the AlterG anti-gravity treadmill system. This system is primarily used for physical therapy of orthopedic conditions. At $35,000 each, these units are typically limited to high-end hospitals and physical therapy clinics. A more common body weight support training system is the LightGait upper body harness system. This system runs about $15,000 and is used primarily in hospitals and recovery centers for neurological conditions. Here are examples of other body weight support training systems on the market. There are several important differences about GlideTrak that make it unique among body weight support training systems on the market today. First is the GlideTrak is the only body weight support system designed for the home. GlideTrak's patented pelvic suspension system removes fall risk and eliminates weight bearing and impact by supporting the pelvis rather than using an upper body harness. Only the GlideTrak supports the body completely 100% between steps. It is this key difference that makes big walk training possible. GlideTrak is excellent for neurologic and orthopedic conditions, and GlideTrak adapts to any treadmill that you would normally have in your home or professional facility. I would like to conclude today's webcast by showing 3 video case studies that document the results of 3 clients and their use of GlideTrak Big Walk training for their Parkinson's exercise. The first video is of John. John was an avid treadmill user, but due to his Parkinson's and issues with his knees, John had to give up his regular treadmill training. This resulted in a deterioration of John's gait and posture and loss of aerobic condition. John chose big walk training on GlideTrak as part of his Parkinson's exercise routine in order to recover his gait, posture, and aerobic fitness. In this video, John and his wife Martha discuss the results John has seen from his regular big walk training.
Well, I've had the GlideTrak for about 3 weeks now at home, and I use it every day.
We would walk before, and I was constantly telling him, I shouldn't hear your footstep. Heel to toe, lift your foot. And it just, I don't know, he could not feel it. He couldn't feel the difference. He could hear it, but he couldn't feel the difference. It is unbelievable because now we walk. I have trouble keeping up with him. He's become this fast little bunny. He's absolutely silent in his walk. Even if people just use it once or twice a week to get that feeling of what normal is, it's amazing how quickly you lose that.
And I look forward to going for walks again. The treadmill I hadn't used for 2 years because I was afraid of hurting my knees, and with this thing I'm back on the treadmill. So just a lot of benefits. I feel a lot better. I feel stronger.
We're just seriously into doing anything that keeps John moving. So this is certainly helping. Oh my God, what a great investment. You know, we spend money on all this other stuff. Why not buy something that really improves the quality of your life?
The second video is of Paul. Paul has had Parkinson's for 11 years. On Paul's bad days, his gait deteriorates to a point that he walks with a stooped over shuffle. After just 1 month of regular big walk training on GlideTrak, you could see a tremendous difference in Paul's gait and posture. As Paul continues his big walk training program, post-workout gains have lasted from a couple of hours to now as long as half a day or more.
My name is Paul, and I was diagnosed with Parkinson's 11 years ago.
Woohoo!
You still got it.
Indy 500.
What do you say?
Indy 500.
The last video example is for Albert. Albert's Parkinson's has also affected his mobility, but not so much his gait. In Albert's case, his issue is with balance, freezing, stiffness, and general instability when he walks. Al's goal for big walk training was to improve his overall confidence and stability when he walks. You will see at the beginning of the video a typical freezing event for Albert. After big walk training for several weeks, you will see that Albert is able to run on the GlideTrak, getting a very high level aerobic workout, and is even able to jog outdoors after his workouts.
My name is Albert. I've been diagnosed in March of 2003. So I have had Parkinson's for 15 years.
So that brings us to the end of today's webcast. I would like to conclude today's webcast with a short summary of the key points of Big Walk training. Big Walk training incorporates all of the important traits of PD FIT required for an effective Parkinson's exercise program. Big Walk training improves mobility, fitness, sense of well-being, and quality of life. Big Walk training is safe, effective, and fun and can be done in the convenience of your own home. And Big Walk training is suitable for most anyone with Parkinson's. I want to thank everyone for watching today's webcast. We hope you found the information to be useful. If you are watching live, a Q&A session will follow shortly. If you are watching a recorded version of the webcast and you want more information, you can visit our website at www.glidetrak.com/Parkinson's or use the email and phone number on this slide. Thank you again for watching.